We're holding in the mind of Kitzeischa, Ois Hey, which is on page Kufnun. So the topic of going out of Mitzrayim, the Rebbe explained that it's a everyday process, starting from Yetzias Mitzrayim till the coming of Mashiach. The whole process of leaving the boundaries of worldliness and recognizing Hashem on every level is an opportunity every day to go from level to level. In Ois Hey, he's going to explain how this is each person's daily avodah. And we have two topics. Two topics. One is called Iskafia, one is Isapcha. These are themes in Avodas Hashem. Iskafia and Isapcha. Iskafia means to bend, to break, to mold, to refine. Iskafia and Hisapcha is turning around completely. It refers to that at the beginning of a person's avodah, you have to work with the feelings of the nefesh habamis, that it's not something can be turned around completely into serving Hashem. We have to mold it, refine it, and that's the beginning of the day's work, and can become sometimes it's the whole life of a Beinoni. Hisapcha is that the Yetzer Hara, the Nefesh Habamis, has been totally turned around into serving Hashem. So this the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, these two avodas, that they could be that a Yid serving Hashem, and he wants to be good. However, there's parts of his personality that he feels aren't good. Either they're thoughts that come to his mind constantly and he has to battle them, or there's a midos that he has, and he hasn't been able to root them out completely. And that because he's not a tzaddik. The tzaddik has been able to take the midos of the Nefesh Habamis and turn them around so they're fully to serve Hashem. Ava is not towards Gashmi, it's only towards serving Hashem. Yira is only towards making sure that he does everything proper to serving Hashem. But when it comes to other things, or the Aveda that's involved in the Skafia, you have the Nefesh Habamis. The Nefesh Habamis throws different thoughts into a person's head, and he has to constantly battle it. And so there's different Avedas. The one where he has to push aside is Skafia, push aside, bending, breaking, molding, the Nefesh Habamis. And then there's a deeper level of Isapcha, where he's able to turn it around. So these two general themes are what we're going to see is every day. That when a person first wakes up in the morning, he's at Baruch Hashem, he woke up, but the body is pulling him back onto the pillow. And it's unusual for a person to wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, fantastic! I'm ready to jump out of bed and jump into serving Hashem." That's a good thing. Maidani lefanecha, we say, and so the first thoughts and the first things we say is about serving Hashem. However, the body still is sluggish. And the Gemara says that you got to stay away from a person who's just alive. Neshama biyape, because he's a bama. A bama means a platform that could be used for Avodah Zarah, a feeling of self. I'm here, I'm alive. That's it. What does davening do? Davening helps permeate the nefesh alikis into the person, so he feels I'm here for a purpose. The purpose is to serve Hashem. Learn Torah, do mitzvahs, serve Hashem, and bring godliness into the world. Bring Mashiach, lift up the world. That's a process that he has to get his mind and heart around through davening. So, but he's got to schlep the guf with himself to daven, and the body says, "Okay, I'm ready. We're going to do it." So it's what's called the body accepts sometimes begrudgingly to get into the active mode of serving Hashem. So that's the beginning, and then through davening, one could be able to turn the Nefesh Habamis into a mode of, yes, I'm happy to do this, and the deeper level is that a person reaches the love for Hashem. V'ahavtas Hashem Elikecha b'chol levavecha. The Gemara says b'shnei yitzarecha, with the Nefesh Elikis and the Nefesh Habamis. The Nefesh Habamis has been turned around to be complete love Hashem. So these two modes, Iskafia first, then Isapcha, match Yitzias Mitzrayim and the Gula Siddur. That we're working with the Klippa throughout and the world from Yitzias Mitzrayim till Mashiach comes. Mashiach comes, the whole world will be turned around into serving Hashem. So you've got the individual process of serving Hashem Iskafi Yisafle on a daily basis, at least on some microcosmic level, that we can work with ourselves on some level for this. Because you can't have in davening, a person could have in davening an attitude, a moment where he says, there's nothing in my life, only serving Hashem. That's all I want. That's a level of Isavcha. It can disappear. It's a level of a tzaddik, a level of a high level of baining. There's nothing in my life, only serving Hashem. That could be a momentary feeling, outlook, but then it sinks away. It comes back to, okay, what's for breakfast? Got to go out to work and deal with the world. Tzaddik looks at the world like this the whole day long. It's all a medium to express the closest to Hashem. So that's on a personal level. Then you have the whole, on the world, that there's a world that can be a keli for Hashem, a vessel for Hashem, Stas Yitzias Mitzrayim. When Mashiach comes, it'll shine through wherever you are, the total removal of the Ra. So let's learn inside. Hey, V'hinei Seder Zeh, the Gula, the Seder of the Gula. Shemaschel Meyitzias Mitzrayim Kipshuta, that starts at going out of Mitzrayim in the simple sense. Ad Shebo Malidei Avoid, the Schis Yitzias Mitzrayim B'chol Yim L'Gula Shlem Malidei, Yale Haperes Lefneinu, and through the avoid of every day of mentioning Yitzias Mitzrayim, until we come to the Gula of Mashiach, is Yesh Dugmasoi B'chol Yim V'Yom. You've got such a thing every single day. Each person. Hinei B'Tchilas Hayom Kedem Etfila Nimsa Ha'adam B'Mitzrayim. That a person every morning before he davens, he's in Mitzrayim. What's Mitzrayim mean? V'Meitzorim V'Gvulim Shalaguf, the boundaries and the limitations of the body. Commissioner Kosov, as the Gemara says, Chidlu lachem in ha'adam b'shen neshama b'yapei kibemen nefshavu. Stay away, run away from a person whose neshama is in his nose. That means he's alive. He's just alive. Why? Because what's he considered? The Gemara says, Al triku b'meh el bama. Don't only read. It says what he's considered, but bama. What's a bama? It's a platform that can be used for an independent platform used for Avodah Zarah, is what's referred to. When at the beginning of the day, his neshama is just in his nose. He's just alive. He's breathing the breath of life. He just feels, I'm here. And it doesn't spread out throughout his body. Then he's considered like a platform of independent existence. That's the Avodah Zarah. I'm here and there's nothing else. I don't feel Hashem. I'm alive. And Baruch Hashem, you're alive. But that's all he feels. And that's the strength and of the limitations of the coarseness of the body. So what's the beginning then? To move that into wanting to get close to Hashem. That's why the beginning of the Veda is iskafia, molding, bending, breaking that strong feeling of gashmis. Shehu misgaber ala chomrias aguf. He strengthens himself over the coarseness of the body, v'nefesh habamis, and all the non-holy aspects of himself. That's misgaber ala chomrias, the coarseness of the guf, and the nefesh habamis, his enlivening soul, and on the all aspects that aren't holy, all those things. Until the body and the nefesh habamis is omein against its will, and then you help him to serve Hashem. That's all only the level of iskafia. Now, when it says Bal Kochoch, so we have that's the Gemara that speaks about the two angels the angels that come home with us on Friday night. That they see a Shabbos table that's all beautifully said. The negative angels are forced to say to the positive angels that next week should be like this. They say, and the negative say yes, amen. They're forced to say it. So it's an expression to say, to bring out on a deeper level that all those things that aren't kedusha will accept and realize that they've got to get on board with serving Hashem. So it's the koyach that we have from the Nefesh Elikis, the determination to say, okay, I'm getting up. It's difficult. It could be hot. It could be cold. I could be sleepy, groggy from the night, things hanging over from the day before. But I'm going to go to shul to daven and try to and work to bring out a connection and awareness and some level of love for Hashem with the purpose of following what's the whole day going to be all about, making the world a different world, to bring godliness into the world and all the things that I do. Having that kavanah. So the guf then says, I'm going to come along, so to speak. When the person feels, that's what I want to do, that means the Nefesh HaBahamis says, I'm on the team, rather than just fall back asleep on the pillow. So that's the first level of iskafia. And then we come to a deeper level, also within davening, and then you come with totally turned around the Nefesh HaBahamis, and there's many different levels. We find this that David Melech said was on this level, and so we're going to describe at least two dargas. David Melech said, "My heart is empty within me." He said it in Tillim, and Alter Rebbe brings it at the beginning of Tanya. That means to say it's not getting in the way. The Nefesh HaBahamis is not disturbing. So it's so to speak fast asleep. But then there's a deeper level. Then it comes, I'm loving Hashem, and the Chazal say, it doesn't say with all my heart, meaning one, the two vases, meaning that both the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara, Shegami Yetzer Hara Guf and Nevech L'Tov. And that's where then the Yetzer Hara has also been turned into good as well, where it's a deeper level, not only a negative things not getting in the way, not only does the Nefesh HaBahamis not disturb, but it's been turned into a positive, exciting force, and through that also the Nefesh Elikis is lifted up to a higher level. And that would be, we find this in the level of tshuva. That there's, the Gemara says about tshuva, one level is that zdoinus naslik shkogos, that those averos done on purpose, when a person does tshuva on one level, they turn into those averos that would be considered shkogos, inadvertent averos. And then there's a deeper level where those averos done on purpose would be turned into mitzvahs. Nas aleika zochias. It's a unique aspect of tshuva done with a very deep level of love to Hashem, where the very thing that was negative turns into be something which is positive. That's a unique, the Alter Rebbe explains it in Tanya too. Usually a mitzvah is how you get close to Hashem. An aveira is pushing a person away from Hashem, turning his back on Hashem. That's the aveira. What happens if after a while a person's lived in the world of aveiras, lived in the world of klippa, lived in the world of mitzrayim, of worldly values and non-kedusha, and then he realizes, oi, what have I come to? I've got to get out of this tremendously quickly. And so the very inyan fact that he's in this negative mindset, a negative world, spurs him on to wants to get closer to Hashem. That would be tshuva, where the aveiros become mitzvahs, doinus, nas like which is the deeper level of tshuva called tshuva ilah.